In 2001, Willie Lloyd, the street's mayor of Chicago's West Side, was welcomed home by hood celebrities like the Bishop Don Magic Juan, after a 1994 conviction on weapons charges. He won a fake-ass Fantasy World Trophy for being Gangster of the Year from a pimp named Slickback, and acted like he won an Oscar. So, what happens when the notorious leader of an outlaw set of the Four Corner Hustlers, Labar bro man Spann, infamous for being the man responsible for the death of Rudy Rangel Jr., aka Kato, meets the Vice Lord's King of Kings, Willie Lloyd. Thank you for joining us. This is the Cartoon News Network's feature presentation, When Bro Man Meets Willie Lloyd.
I'm going to get presented trophy to Willie Lloyd, the King of Kings, the 2001 Michael in that player ball. Give it up, come on now, Willie Lloyd. Hold up, check. Yes, sir. Been your friend, been on y'all your life. Check. King of Kings. I want to thank Bishop Juan, Prince Simo, and all the players up here. Yeah. And gangsters. Yeah. And me. This is my first time being able to make one of these balls. I'm glad to be here. I'm not going to hold it up. Check, and love.
All right, so with you growing up on the West Side, there's a lot of big players that done came out of the West Side of Chicago, and one of the names that is synonymous really with the West Side is going to be Willie Lloyd. What are your memories, or do you have any memories of Willie Lloyd?
You know, when I was a kid, I always heard of him, you know what I'm saying? When we were young, his name was ringing. We out west. We always heard his name ringing, and how he was moving around and shit, but I thought when I was young, I always heard of him and everything, you know what I'm saying? So, really, they had a song, Willie Lloyd or something back then too, they had a song about him and everything, but yeah, I always heard of him when I was young. So, everybody heard of him from being out west.
Yeah, so you don't have no personal experiences with him, do you?
Oh, yeah. Once I got older.
We'll let Bro Man tell you all about the first time that he met Willie Lloyd in a few moments, but before we do, let me tell everyone about Willie Lloyd's rise to power, and ask everyone to, please, smash that like button, and subscribe to make sure that this video reaches the top of the YouTube algorithm. As a teenager, Willie Lloyd assumed leadership of the unknown Vice Lords in 1965, mainly because of his reputation for violence. The name, Unknown, is a play on the common police practice of identifying a suspect as unknown before they have any leads in the case. Willie Lloyd's reputation for violence exceeded him further in December of 1971. Willie Lloyd and 4 others took a long drive out to the Quad Cities to Davenport, Iowa, where one of their members was residing. The men came to this small city to do stick-up robberies, and their first spot was the Little Green Apple Tavern. The men held up the tavern at gunpoint and took cash, and took a nickel-plated .38 caliber revolver from the tavern. Then on December 5, 1971, the crew visited the Quality Inn Motel in downtown Davenport, in search of a room frequented by a Davenport police officer, Leon Washington. They were hoping to break into his room when he wasn't there, and steal his money and weapons, but they picked the wrong room, and robbed another man instead. After robbing the man, they tied him up, then went back to looking for Washington's room. When the men found the room, the other man tied up in the previous room broke free and called the police, while the crew robbed and tied up Leon Washington. This is when Davenport rookie police officer Michael Farnsworth showed up with his partner, and both men were shot at immediately. Upon the second shot from the .38 caliber revolver, a bullet struck Farnsworth in the head, killing him instantly. 4 of the 5 men were arrested and charged with murder. According to the Chicago Tribune, Willie Lloyd did not fire any weapons at the officers, but he was still convicted of felony murder of a police officer. Even though he didn't shoot anyone, he was still hailed as a cold-blooded killer by authorities, and by UVL members back in Chicago, which not only boosted the reputation of Willie Lloyd, but also of the UVLs. During his time in prison out in Iowa, Willie Lloyd still controlled UVL operations. In December of 1986, Willie Lloyd was paroled, much to the objection of Iowa State Police and Davenport Police, but Willie was headed back to Chicago's West Side.
Nigga, West Side.
When Willie got back, he had earned high rank in the overall almighty Vice Lord Nation, and now that he was free, he sought to take over leadership of the whole nation, which meant he was in command of all Vice Lord branches, while still being in charge of UVL simultaneously. Willie Lloyd was a lil man with a Napoleon complex, but he was acting like he was Debo from Friday, out here in these streets.
Come Debo. Ooh, Debo. He just took my head.
The police nationwide were still upset about Lloyd's release, and some Minneapolis police officers got revenge in October of 1988, when they beat Willie in the streets of Minneapolis. The reason why Lloyd was in Minneapolis is because he had family that lived there, and it was said that he was trafficking drugs and holding meetings at his sister's house to discuss UVL gang operations between Minneapolis and Chicago. Lloyd oversaw 150 UVL members in Minneapolis, and they were best known for selling crack and robbing other drug dealers. In 1989, Willie Lloyd was arrested and convicted on illegal weapons charges, namely, possessing a MAC-10 machine gun. Lloyd was convicted and went back to prison. This time he was in an Illinois prison for the first time. While locked away in this short prison stint of about 2.5 years, Lloyd began using heroin and got addicted to the drug. He became reckless while addicted, and much of the almighty Vice Lord Nation wanted him removed from power, as he was now viewed as a high risk. On December 30, 1992, Willie Lloyd was released from prison once again, and strutted out of jail surrounded by bodyguards, while wearing flashy clothes. Lloyd was determined to restore his power over the Vice Lord Nation, even in the face of adversaries. As soon as Willie got home, there were already disputes over drugs and money owed to the former King of Kings. There was also a major war erupting over the North Avenue drug trade with Chief Angelo Roberts and the Four Corner Hustlers, making Willie a marked man. In 1993, Willie Lloyd faced more legal issues as he was now facing charges of armed robbery and unlawful restraint. Willie ordered the kidnapping of Cardell Williams, one of his top lieutenants, for allegedly owing him drug money. Cardell's brother, Tyrone Williams, aka Baby Ty, who was also a high-ranking unknown Vice Lord, paid the ransom by handing over the keys to his Mercedes-Benz. Baby Ty and his crew got revenge by kidnapping 2 young teen boys working drug spots for Lloyd's faction, and they were dragged to railroad tracks as they cried and begged for their lives, but they were both shot to death, execution style. The next day, on March 26, 1993, unknown men, get it, unknown, fired bullets into Willie's car on the Eisenhower Expressway, but his driver, girlfriend, and child were not hit. Both UVL factions were accustomed to robbing each other, and were at total war. It got to the point where Willie, and even his lawyer, needed to wear a bulletproof vest to court. In October of 1993, another attempt was made on Willie, as his car was shot about 30 times, but Willie was only shot in the leg, while his girlfriend and child once again survived unscathed. By 1994, police closed in on UVL drug operations headed by Willie Lloyd, and Willie was convicted and sent back to prison. During Willie's 8-year stint in prison, he claimed that he became a reformed man this time, and allegedly stepped down from Vice Lord leadership, giving up the gang life. He returned home in the year 2001. In public, he was trying to help youths get out of the gang life. According to Willie, his philanthropy was not admired by all in his gang, as he was shot down severely in 2003 and left in a wheelchair. Let's see if Willie's life story, in the early 2000s, matches Bro Man's account of their first meeting, and then we'll return with court documents for more analysis.
Yeah, so you don't have no personal experiences with him, do you?
Oh, yeah. You know, once I got older, what's crazy, it was an incident. Now, there was this cat out west named Lil Ronnie. He was from Walker. He really a Sinatra. You know, he one of them guys. Statue assistant ass motherfucker. Because he ended up coming to court on me anyway. But at the same token, it was an incident with him. So when Lloyd came home, he called himself getting up with Willie Lloyd, thinking Willie Lloyd can get up with us. Like, you know, like Willie Lloyd, he could stop us with him. You know, the gangster respect gang back. So.
Why you tripping, Debo? Shut up, I'm gonna knock your ass
Oh
out.
man, that's messed up. What you getting back this chain?
What chain?
Yeah, what chain?
Nigga, West Side.
So, Willie Lloyd's old ass gets out of prison in 2001, acting like he's in Davenport, Iowa in 1971, about to shoot a police officer, and his name is Debo, instead of acting like he's on the west side of Chicago in 2001.
Nigga, West Side.
And he's a grown man with common sense. Willie Lloyd and Bro Man were both shot and paralyzed while trying to extort money from people on some Debo shit.
Nigga, West Side.
In 1998, Bro Man was shot and put in a wheelchair for life during the internal war between the Gordy Boy faction of Four Corner Hustlers.
Nigga, West Side.
Charles Thornton, aka Lil Charles, was the leader of the Gordy Boys. The war started in 1997 when one of his lieutenants, a 5-star Universal elite named Labar Spann, got his hands on a MAC-10 and shot Lil Charles.
Nigga, West Side.
Lil Ronnie, the bitch-ass nigga that Bro Man said ran to Willie Lloyd for help, was a four-corner hustler allied with Lil Charles. After Angelo Roberts was killed in 1995, Ray Longstreet was the chief of the Four Corner Hustlers. Willie Lloyd was permanently paralyzed in October 2003. Bro Man was arrested for the murder of Kato in November 2003. In 2005, Four Corner Hustlers chief Ray Longstreet's drug empire would fall when he was hit with federal RICO charges. Can you guess who went to jail with him? If you guessed Bro Man's arch enemies, Lil Charles and Ronnie Allen, better known as Little Ronnie, then you'd be correct.
I was tripping, man. You want me to ask for my bike back? You know I always trip. What bike? The Beach Cruiser. The one I let you use a couple of weeks ago. The one I've been asking you about. Oh, that bike. Hey, no, you wanted it back, homie? It's right here. Call me. Yeah, it's just like it's both ours. We just put it down